I've talked about the failing infrastructure in this country many times. But when you see this new data, it really puts things into perspective. They also released this new map showing the areas that were tested, and the contamination levels are really through the roof. And I know many people have complained for a long time about the water in their areas. I've done reports before. I've talked about Flint, Michigan, and the situation there. What is pretty mind-blowing here is that of the thousands of areas that they tested for lead specifically, many of them were at least double the reading seen in Flint. So what you have here is an area like Flint that caught national attention, but that was one little spot, and now we're coming to find out that areas across the country are in way worse shape. Way worse. Some of them up to 400%. Areas here 4 times as much in terms of the lead levels that were seen in Flint. Okay, and some of the heaviest hit places, as you can see here, look up through Wisconsin. You have patches all through Texas, and you got to keep in mind these areas were not tested. So if you were to add in some of these areas that were not tested, the results, I would say, would be higher, especially if you add in California, in my opinion. So you can see here that Michigan isn't even covered as heavily as Wisconsin. And they're saying that many of these areas, the reason for this is because of the history of the industrial stuff going on there before there were laws put into place to stop all this lead contamination. They say that these areas are hot spots. Well, you can see one thing is for sure. Coming in through the Northeast up here from New York, right outside New York City, going into PA, man, I think PA has probably got the biggest hit here, going all the way into Ohio. And they actually list Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York and Baltimore as being the most heavily affected. So you also have Savannah, Georgia, they list, Brooklyn, New York, as far north as Rutland, Vermont. This is widespread. It's across the board. And if you're in one of these zones, you may want to look into it further. Now, I've done testing in the past with Hanna products in terms of fluoride testing, but I think I'm really going to look in to seeing what I can do in terms of getting a lead testing kit, because if it's this widespread, then maybe we need to start doing some localized testing in different areas just to show people right there what's going on. This is an eye-opener. Would share this with others. A heads up here. I'll leave a link. I'll continue to update with more information, as always, and make sure to follow me on Twitter for the latest updates. It's been Dabu7. Peace.